fuck, and I was already over the side of the building and managed to get away. And it was an awesome moment of like, I totally with stealth beat another player at some point. Which was really cool.
I often tried to like take them down and like, okay, I'm gonna go on the offensive or whatever, and
the problem with it is that sucks.
Yeah. I had someone like they started shooting at me from behind. I'm like, oh shit, I got to run through this door and like run out into an alley. And then I jumped up onto like an awning that was like coming off a wall. And then they ran out and they looked up at me and I just jumped down and like melee'd killed them, which was an instant kill if you get the drop kill. And I was like, yes,
that stuff is great. It's not good when you get into a gunfight with somebody and you're shooting at each other. I mean, then it's like
it's not
really. The latency tied with the because it's peer-to-peer, the peer-to-peer nature of the multiplayer tied to the fact that the shooting in this game is fine, just kind of makes it not feel good. But when you had those multiplayer moments where it was more about like positioning and sneaking around and like catching people, that's very fun. It made me once again mad that the Assassin's Creed multiplayer isn't available still, because you got to do that kind of shit in that multiplayer, and it was awesome. So okay, Alex is back.
Hello.
Yay.
Hello.
All right, Alex's game of the year, Pokemon.
Unless you have strong unless you have strong opinions on Deathloop, Alex, that's the only other thing we covered that while you're gone. Okay, we put it in
probably
B.
not going to.
I think you'll be fine to skip it.
Pokemon Unite.
I think everybody played it, right?
Yeah, I played it. I played quite a bit of it, actually.
I played quite a bit of it too, but I think you played the most.
The most by far, I believe.
I made it to Masters.
Sure.
Oh, damn.
Like Masters being like the top rank that there currently is, which gets you into actual MMRs. So I've played a significant amount of it. I would say that game is B tier.
Okay.
Sure.
Even though
I think
it has a lot of good things, but it has a lot of things that needs improvement that it seems they just aren't willing to do.
Sure. Yeah.
It's odd to me. The reason that I think I'm okay with it in B tier is I think A tier as a game that is like, hey, this is good for new MOBA players, for younger people, for people trying to dip a toe in the genre, because it's awesome for that. And I think it's a really solid A to that. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Just as somebody who, has never really played a MOBA before, that was the thing that I really liked, is where it was I kind of saw, okay, I see why people like this genre, and it was a fun kind of dip into that for me.
But it also sounds like they put in a ladder system and tools to play it ostensibly at an extremely high level, and then don't really support that kind of high level play well at all.
Correct.
Which
and
is,
it's basically, I think, that's true in multiple levels. One is communication, because they refuse to really have text chat that you can customize. Like, yes, you have the wheel of preset things, but there's a lot of ambiguity in it. So it's like, yes, of course, going to top makes sense, but you can't say like defend top like from another position easily. Like you can do it, but like you have to kind of like spam people. Like you can't say directly to, oh, whoever's playing Blastoise, go here, join me, I need backup, kind of stuff. Like really basic commands.
Yeah.
Like if you could customize from a bunch of preset messages what is on your wheel, that would alleviate that problem, but they refuse to add that. And also the fact that like the games ultimately come down to that Zapdos thing, like 90% of the time, especially in high level games where it's like the first 9 minutes, because every game is capped at 10 minutes, but at the first 9 minutes or whatever it is, I forget, 8.5, whatever it is, like can be made completely irrelevant by that, to the point where it's like, well,
very frustrating.
That's just a waste of time. Like if the rest of your team decided to mess around and die in those last 20 seconds and then the other team gets the Zapdos, then they just win and there's nothing you can do.
The only thing I think that is better than like say Hood in that regard is at least those 8.5 minutes you do have to like be playing the game to be leveling up and be capable of fighting in the team fights at the end around the Zapdos in order to decide the victory. But it still sucks that the objective is so like you can play, there's Dota games where like Roshan's fall like multiple times, and the team that maybe killed them three times to one time, or the team that actually ends up losing because the other team just manages to put it together and win.
Yep.
And that just isn't possible in Pokemon Unite. Like it
Correct.
definitely,
like,
Zapdos is a victory condition for sure.
Yep.
Mhm.
You can play a perfect game, like as an individual or as a team. You can play perfectly, have one little slip up slightly near the end, and it doesn't matter how far you are ahead. It's just you're gonna lose, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, great. Like, or if one person disconnects because there's no easy way to pause the game, or there is no way to pause the game, and it's like, you know, the last minute of a really important game, and your internet dies, like I just encountered. Then you just lost, and you just lost MMR. So,
and that can happen in League and Dota too. But the
their
other thing
ranking
about
system is bad.
Yeah, and I think the easy solution to both of those problems in Pokemon Unite is if the like master level play or whatever, if it was just like one big thing pops up and says, "Hey, there's voice chat here. If you don't want to do that, don't play at this level." And
you can play with voice chat at all levels, but you probably should.
I didn't think it had.
Yep,
I didn't think it had voice chat.
You have to use like the app, don't you, or something?
I think now you can use Bluetooth, but you did have to use an app.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Well, that alleviates a little bit of my criticism of the voice chat thing, because developers can only give you so many tools. You have to end up using them if you're going to need. So that makes me feel a little less. But the bigger thing with the Zapdos thing, at Grandmaster, at whatever level where it needs to start happening, just take that objective out or shift the way it works and make it something different if you want to support that kind of high level play.
Yeah, I don't know if you could, but I agree, but I don't know if you could for balance reasons.
But that's the problem, right? That's like why if you can't for balance reasons, and then it shouldn't be played at that kind of high level, then it's kind of that's why I think it fits in B for sure.
Yeah, I don't, again, as someone who played it at those high levels, I don't think it can go higher than B. I would actually say it's closer to a C if you're considering it from the high level. But I think as an accessible game for like everybody and for like an introduction to the genre, it's absolutely a B or higher. But at high levels, it's C or lower.
It's got some very good skins on those Pokemon.
It does. Like it has a lot of good stuff to
perfect.
it. Yeah, I just think if you're thinking of it from high level play, it's not good. But everything else, it's good.
Yeah.
All right.
It you know what it did is, as soon as I started to crack at the high level play, it made me go, I should reinstall League of Legends. And I haven't played tons of League, but my partner and I have played some here and there, and it's been fun to have that as a thing to jump into here and there. So
yeah, it's definitely, if you're like into MOBAs, it just be like, oh yeah, wait, MOBAs are good, and I want to play.
I should go play the ones I like more.
It's like,
I think it's good.
It's such like a simplified experience, which is good for some people, but not what I'm looking for. All right, that brings us to our last game, Cruelty Squad.
Yeah,
which I firmly believe is an S tier game.
I would agree with you.
Sure.
I have a feeling Alex might disagree.
It's fine. I like it. I don't know if it's S tier, but I think it's good.
Part of me believes it is either S tier or F tier. And
well,
it is the horseshoe theory.
Yes. I think I'm going to say my very negative, not about Cruelty Squad, but just generally piece. The last 2 years have made me more of a pessimist than I've ever been in my life about like the world and everything. And I think like vast aspects of our society, specifically here in the United States, fucking sucks and is shit. And like the fact that I wake up and there's people around me sometimes who like don't also think huge parts of our culture are fucking garbage and can't stop thinking about it the way that I can. I'm just like, oh my God. And I feel like when I played Cruelty Squad, someone else got it and was like, you know what? Yeah, everything fucking sucks. The world sucks shit. And I'm not saying that I think you should feel that way. And I'm not saying that I don't like try to do things to make myself feel better about it and be the beauty out there. But I kind of appreciated playing something that was like, no, together, let's talk about how everything is fucking garbage for a few hours. And I think it does that better than anything else I've ever played.
Yeah, and I like a lot. Like, I think there's some people who find it like it is abrasive, and again, that is on purpose.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think that can be argued. But did anyone finish it? Like, get to the very end?
Yes,
You did.
I did.
I played almost all of it. I didn't get to the very end. You guys can spoil away. I don't.
The last level is fucking wild.
Yeah.
It becomes like there's like giant crabs that are just walking around. There's it's like a fucking fun house. It's very strange. I think, I mean, the thing I appreciate it is that it is so unabashedly abrasive and like weird and just goes for like an aesthetic, and I think nails it for better and for worse. And
I think it's good. There's some levels that I just think are bad. Like, I think the swamp level is just bad design.
This sounds so wet.
Well, it sounds very wet, but like also like the whole it took me a long time to figure out the bodies that explode into the rats or whatever. Like that stuff isn't illustrated well. Like, but like nothing in that game is. So it's like it's hard to say if those are valid criticisms. Like it that all could be very deliberate. So
yes, it is. It is hard to say with some of the stuff where it's like, is this just like a pain in the ass? Because that level was like not great to play. And it's like, am I just not like, have I not bought enough of the right like cybernetic mutations or cybernetic add-ons for my body or whatever, and then playing like the stock market with organs and like, I blew this guy up and I took his brain and his pancreas and his spleen and I'm selling them on the stock market, and then I'm buying stock in companies and selling stock in companies that I'm gonna like kill the CEO of. And
I'm like, I totally hear what you're saying too, Alex, and I don't disagree necessarily, but I also just think that it's so incredibly creative that that outweighs the parts of it that are not great from a design perspective, and so that's why I'm comfortable putting it up there. Totally. It is not in my top 5 favorite games of the year, but if I were a writer at like the Atlantic, if I were like at some mainstream press outlet and they're like, you know what, this year we want someone to do a game of the year piece, I think I would probably write about this game for that, because I think it is such a fascinating, like, there's all this thought about like, oh, The Last of Us Part 2, or even, you know, God of War, or these like games that they push the boundaries and they show that video games can be like movies too. And to me, Cruelty Squad is a great example of like, no, also video games can do this. This is way more interesting. It may not be as good from like a technical perspective or even a design perspective, but it's really fucking cool, and it's a lot more indicative of what I would like to see more of from video games than just chasing prestige television and film.
No, I agree.
And I think
like,
that's part of why I appreciate it so much.
It very much seems like someone getting out whatever is in their head into whatever this is in just a really unique way that can't be replicated. Games
are art.
Sometimes it's really good
garbage art, and it's awesome.
Like I think I can agree with it at S. I would probably put it at A. It's in my top 10, but I think it's
it's in mine too.
It is really good. And I just want to point out, I think
just the uniqueness is what pushes it over for me. But
me too.
At S tier, we do have 10 games. I'm just saying.
I know.
We could order.
Oh my god, no.
No, we're not ordering these games.
I heard like your brain working there, and I'm like, no.
We are not. But I will say, out of order, I think this is a really good Game of the Year list. I
really liked doing it this way this year.
Let's put it in alphabetical order. No actual order.
Let's just read it in no order, because I don't want to resort these.
Yeah. All right. So in order that we put them into S tier, Life is Strange, True Colors. Is that iRacing? Yes. I already pixelate on here. Noja.
Erasing.
Inscription, Final Fantasy, Endwalker, Near Replicant 1.228765309, Opus Echo of Star Song, Outer Wilds, Echoes of the Eye, Resident Evil Village, and Cruelty Squad. That's a top 10, baby.
Those are S tier.
I like how I really like how this list turned out, because I liked that we were able to talk about other games too, and this is a fun one.
I'm looking at our other tiers, seeing if there's anything I would change. I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty happy with it.
Pretty happy.
Yeah.
We've solved Game of the Year.
We could move Power. We could move Power Wash Simulator up to S, but you know.
I felt not like super strongly about many games this year. Like it just like if I had to come up with a top 10, like I guess I could do it, but
I was struggling with doing that myself personally.
I came up with a top 10. However, it is ranked 1 to 4 with a lot of items just tied for 4th, because I'm like, I can't be bothered to rank those.
I have a pretty nebulous one myself, so we can post those or
all right,
share them somewhere.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
No, I don't want to make everybody read them right now because
why I couldn't, because that doesn't exist.
Mine doesn't either.
Will post.
All right.
We will post the post the tier list. God, it's almost 4:30 in the morning for me. Post a tier list on the Twitter where you can see that and follow along and see how the fuck we got here. But that is going to do it for Game of the Year 2021 for the Gaming Fix podcast. Pat, where can people find you?
You can find me on the internet at PJC Plays.
Allison, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at WRITERSERENY2Y.
You can find me, Andre, aka the Wet Gamer, aka your partner's favorite game from 2004, on Twitter at Coolsl, COOLSL4W. And you can find the podcast on Twitter, where you can find the tier list at Fix Podcasts. And maybe we'll post it on the site too, maybe fix.space if that's if you're nasty. And Alex,
hi,
comes to you.
You can find me on Twitter at mamsspaghetti, because I reactivated Twitter, because ultimately this will be my last episode of regular Gaming Fix. Which
what?
Yeah, I know, surprise.
What are you saying?
Where did this music come from?
I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
That's beautiful. Yes, this was discussed probably, I don't know, a month ago, that I would be stepping away from the podcast, at least at a regular capacity, for a variety of reasons. Just gotta take care of some life stuff, man.
And you know, we wish you
wish you
wish you the best. Obviously you're always welcome back. We'll be happy to have you.
Happy to join as well.
Like if you ever just want to show up, like please feel free, but also
we'll probably I mean, you should never feel pressured, but I really hope that it's I need to be able to say when I'm going to be on rather than say when I'm not going to be on, kind of.
Sure.
That's what
that's the dream.
What I was hoping for too, just because as much as that song cue made me laugh, ultimately do what's best for you, Alex, but this podcast wouldn't be the way it is without you, and so it wouldn't exist. Yeah. And
we're gonna do our best to keep it going.
Exactly, like a little inside baseball, that after last week's podcast we had a little bit of a sit down, the Pat, Andre, and I, of like, okay, we got to figure out how to fucking do this podcast. And I think that's just because it's like, you know, you've done so much for the podcast, Alex, and you know, we really, really appreciate it. Last night I had an extra beer, and I was looking on Cameo to see if Brendan Fraser was on there. He is not, but I was hoping he was, so I could get him and make a message for you. I was like, is Brendan Fraser on Cameo? And if so, could we all pitch in? But know that I would have intended to do such things for you.
No, that's hilarious and appreciated. But yeah, no, I'll still
It's
be
the
around.
thought that counts.
Yeah.
And you'll hear us when we're not going to stop talking. We'll be talking as much as ever. So you're not gonna. We'll have plenty of. I think Alex said this. I'm sure at times when it's appropriate and acceptable. So yeah. But it's gonna be a different 2022 for sure. We're gonna figure out how to make it good but different.
And you'll just have to see what we have in store, what good but different looks like next week on the Gaming Fix podcast, where it won't be 5 hours long. Probably.
I'm going to provide hopefully. a moment by moment. I'm racing in the iRacing Roar Before the 24 on Friday, which is a 2.4 hour race around Daytona Road in a Honda Civic Type R. I'll be sure to record minute by minute notes and I'll read them to everybody on the podcast next week. So don't miss that.
Oh yeah.
All right. Buckle in, gamers, and stay wet. Stay wet, Alex.
Always. Stop the recording.
That's okay. This is just for you.
That's beautiful.
I am like legitimately crying right now because I am like I want what's best for you, Alex, but I'm just gonna miss talking to you on this. So
it'll still happen. Just
I don't want it to. I don't want you to make it sound like it's like guilty or anything. I just
Well, now on every.
You guys mean a lot to me. So
every Sunday morning, we're going to have a non-podcast time where we all just get in a call for 3 hours. And it's not recorded.
And then we have a 3-hour call.
Then what's shorter with less people? But now we're going to have to do a second conversation. Yeah, we could just move the news to a talk. I mean, it's now recorded for the 4 of us.
Okay, what's up with Clubhouse? Is that still a thing? We all just gonna be on Clubhouse all the time now?
No, OnlyFans.
Okay, wait, but that's what? No,
what's the other one? Oh, Fan House. That's what I'm thinking of.
No, yeah, Clubhouse is a thing where it's just like you're just like on a Skype call or like you're just on like a Discord call or whatever, but it's just all the time, and people are just like show up and then they leave and they show up.
It's
true. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Calling this just game of the year? I don't even know. Yep. It's so fucking cold in this room now. Jesus Christ.
I just called it Game of the Year 2021.
All right, I just put 2022. All right.
Oh, I also put 2022. But
I put 2022.
It'll be fun for next year.
Yeah, this is the entirety of next year.
Yeah, I tried to edit last week's podcast, just like following along on that video, and then something happened as I was like bringing it all back over to the front, and then it basically ended up with everything getting deleted or like undone, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And I tried to like undo it and I couldn't figure out like the history, and it was like, oh no,
that'll happen.
Yeah, so I need to be better about saving if we do that. But very good tutorial video.
I'm glad. Yeah, I tried to go over pretty much everything from anybody can watch it. It's the editing and also the posting and also the tagging and all that kind of stuff. So
I appreciate that too. I'm gonna read.
We might look into maybe changing up some of that to take out some of the work, possibly.
We should start with whatever you've been doing.
Yeah.
And we want to make adjustments. We'll go from there.
Yeah.
And I have some scripts, but they're just not going to work on anyone else's computer because I have a very weird structure because I have like 5 hard drives.
God, Jesus Christ.
4 hard drives.
Oh God, I hope I don't wake up like a cold tomorrow because I don't have my heater on. I should have had my heater on. All right.
Electric blankets, baby.
I've got one somewhere in this room. My office is a fucking mess. I gotta clean it up before I go back to work.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that my files are
is this? No. Where do I fucking... There we go.
Oh, my package with Yoshi's Island for Game Boy Advance just delivered. The most current video game.
Hell yeah.
Bought a couple of Game Boy Advance games recently.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go take care of some stuff and make food and all that.
I'm going to go. I had something quick to eat before this, but I'm going to go get myself an egg sandwich.
Yeah, it was a good one.
So good.
We won Game of the Year. The Game of the Year.
We won Game of the Year.
Game of the Year of the Game of the Year of the Year. We did the best Game of the Year that anybody's ever done. That's what I'm trying to say.
I think that the tier format is really good.
It's great.
I really liked it, and like I feel like previous years I felt stressful in advance of Game of the Year, and that's stressful during, and then afterwards I was just like, I'm tired. Whereas now I'm like, I feel pretty good about that, and I didn't feel stressed going into it. It was great.
My feeling is like I am uncomfortable when we start saying, I would be uncomfortable saying whether Nausea or Near Replicant is a better game on a list because
because they're like wildly different games.
And I know that I'll tell you, like, Near Replicant or Near Gestalt anyway, so I'm sure Replicant by extension is one of my favorite games, but also when I haven't played a game, I feel really weird and bad about saying one's better than the other. So I'm glad we did.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
And like in past years, I felt really stressed out of like I have to play everything, and then I didn't play something, and I felt like, oh, what am I doing? And this year, I felt like I was able to play my weird old games that didn't matter, and it didn't make me feel stressed out at all. So
yeah,
it's great.
It takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, I will talk to everybody soon.
Have fun.
Catch you later.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.